So, last time we covered the fear of the red button. Now let's talk about things that you need to get to start making your content. And if you, for example, make a new account on the Twitch, plan on starting streaming there, they recommend you to watch through videos of Creator Camp, which is basically is an anthology of the videos, of clips, of people who stream there and who teach you how to use different settings, how to set up overlays and blah blah blah. A lot of those videos actually feel like some type of summer motivational camp, but that's irrelevant. Some of them are quite useful, especially when you talk about what do you need to start your streaming, and they all say the same: microphone. So there's a lot of gear to buy. This video is not sponsored in any way. I bought all the things I use now with my own money. Anyway, so let's talk about the microphone, shall we? Now, if you watch like videos of successful content creator who already made it, right? On Twitch, on YouTube, on different podcasts like, I don't know, Caleb Hammer, Joe Rogan, whatever rocks about. They use the Shure SM7B, the absolute gold of the dynamic microphones, which costs $400 at least, right? And also that's an XLR microphone, so you're gonna need to have at least some sort of XLR sound interface. But no need to fear, you don't have to buy yourself a Shure SM7B right off the bat. You can do it further along the way. I personally use now this bad boy, which is Rode PodMic XLR version. Again, not sponsored, I bought it myself, so you know, Rode. A little hint, shoot your shot. Before this, I actually owned two other microphones. Both of them were condenser mics, and condenser mics are very popular in the sphere of the USB mics, and the USB mics are useful in a way that you don't have to plug them into the sound interface. You can just directly plug them into your PC, like Elgato Wave, for example, which a lot of YouTubers recommend because it's paid promotion. Spoilers, right? Probably good mic, I don't know, I didn't use it. So you don't have to buy Elgato Wave because it costs about, I don't know, $250, $200, also a lot, right? There's a lot of different alternatives. My first microphone was Superlux 205 something, I don't know, I don't remember. I currently gave it away already, but it was a nice microphone. It was standing on my desk, which was quite uncomfortable because it takes up space, which is I don't have it a lot even now. So the boom arm is actually quite useful in that case, but I didn't use it from the right of the bed. So it was a condenser USB mic, and the condenser microphones have a tendency to pick up absolutely everything around you, right? But don't worry, if you, for example, you record your content through OBS, there's a lot of built-in plugins that will help you to make your microphone sound good. And I will talk about that tiny bit later, okay? We don't rush. Please, when you are choosing microphone, for the love of God, take something you can actually afford, okay? There's a ton of options, but I would not personally recommend to go on YouTube to see the recommendations from YouTubers, because all of them are recommending like Elgato Wave, Shure, MB7 or MV7, I don't remember quite yet. It's all around $200. You can buy a cheap microphone and make it sound quite decent, right? You can buy used, you can buy some bundles from Amazon or I don't know, AliExpress, whatever you use. This damn rabbit hole of learning about mics when you open up YouTube the people who actually understand mics, they understand them too goddamn much. They will tell you about all types of microphones you can ever imagine in your life, and you don't need this information, believe me. There's a shit ton of it. The history of microphones is actually very, very long at this moment, and the variations are vast, and the market is gigantic, and all you need is just something you can actually buy without crippling yourself with them. So, with that being said, my first mic, I bought it for, I guess it was $10? 20. Yeah, I bought it for $20. I, after that, bought some cheap, I don't know, boom arm that's for something about maybe $12, which couldn't actually handle the weight of this microphone because it was full metal, and it constantly like would just flopping. So I had to deal with that. You can of course buy some type of holder so it will position better and won't like flop on this cheap boom arm, but that's a bit excessive, and we are trying to save our money, right? A lot of creators also recommend FIFA NK688, I think, but it's already unavailable. It's like 3-year-old model, so you can find it from AliExpress, I think, still, but there's not a lot of options on Amazon, as long as I recall. I personally prefer for all of my upgrades to buy something used, because I am broke as shit and I don't have this much money. So this bad boy, for example, I bought for a crisp $100 with boom arm, because both of them were used and I got a bundle deal for it, which is nice. But if you buy XLR microphone, you need sound interface, which again, it's more money. We are trying to avoid it at the moment. Okay, so plug and play USB mic. Some of them have the software to make your voice sound better or your microphone sound better. But the first thing you can do to improve the quality of your microphone sound is to soundproof your surrounding. And I don't mean go on and buy some sound dispersant panel. God, no, please don't do that. That's, again, more money. We don't want that. It'd be nice if you had some carpet in your room, right? If you have a hardwood floor, maybe a couple of pieces of cloth here and there to cut the resonations of your room will be nice. That will do the trick. So, without touching any sound interfaces, let's dive into the OBS and I will try to show you how to set up your mic using only built-in plugins. So here is our OBS standard interface, right? Pretty basic, nothing like much happening here. Here are the scenes, which you can switch between. Yeah, I've got some obviously set up like ahead of time. There you have your sources, right? Video capture device, it would be my webcam. Display capture, so I can show you how to work around it here, and my microphone so you can hear me. So what you need to find, first of all, your sound mixer. It is right here, digital mixer. Here should be your microphone. It would be it will have the same name as your audio capture device. Here's the monitor button. You can toggle it on to hear actually what you say to the mic. Now we just right click on that and open filters. What filters do you need? There's equalizer, so you can play around with the sound of your voice, make it a little bit more deep, maybe cut some high frequencies or do the opposite. It's on you. I'm gonna say it right now that I won't get you the exact setup as you should do that, because all the microphones are different, and you should just sit for about, it will take you maybe 40 minutes your first time, but you have to like go through it so you can make your microphone actually sound like you want it to. So equalizer. The next one is compressor. Compressor is a great thing because compressor makes your the quiet sounds of your voice a little bit louder, and the loud sounds of your voice a little bit quieter, so it will be somewhere in between, right? Ratio is how much you want to balance it out, the quiet and loud ones. Threshold, of course, is from which volume you want to lift your quiet sounds. Attack, how many times from the beginning of the sound should, so you don't hear like the sudden spike in the sound. Release is how many times after you finished your speaking, so it won't be like instant drop from it. So yeah, that's a great one to have. The next one, I'm gonna say gain. What this filter does is actually make your sound of your microphone a bit louder. I'm not gonna go too much above the limit because your ears will probably bleed from that. Yeah, but you can gain additional volume to a microphone by regulating this slider. The next one is the limiter, and if you are, for example, emotional person, yeah, if you play, I don't know, competitive games or horrors, if you don't want your sound to clip, which means that it's gonna be like that, if you don't want this to happen, you just set a limiter, and when you will scream at your microphone, the sound won't clip, the sound won't crunch. The next one is, actually the next two, is the noise gate and noise suppression. Suppression is automatic, it uses the CPU resources, and the good quality uses your CPU, but it doesn't use that much, so I probably would be a problem unless you have like really weak CPU, like the second, third generation of Ryzen, maybe. And the noise gate is works actually quite simple, so it cuts out everything that is below the volume you want. So any background noise like cars on the street, actually now the trams are constantly going up and down the street outside my house, so but you can't hear it, so it's actually good. I don't need any of these filters on my microphone because I have the sound interface that does this job for me, so I don't use the OBS filters. That's about it. Just turn your monitoring of your microphone on and sit around for about 40-30 minutes. Just play around with it and you'll be good to go. Just quick disclaimer, when you put up the noise gate, make sure that your sound, the sound of your voice doesn't cut when you start speaking, so your sentences won't start from the middle. You should to check this before you move on. So that's about it with our OBS demonstration. So when you actually think about it, as I said before, you don't actually need expensive mic or expensive sound interface. You don't. You may buy one further down the road if you need some, right? I personally bought my first sound interface because I was streaming like last year, but I stopped because of the studies. So the problem on the stream is that when something goes wrong with your mic or with your sound, you should stop everything, go to OBS and crank it up a little bit or down, I don't know, just toggle some stuff, and that's quite annoying. And having like sound interface with a physical control there is actually quite nice. So I bought myself my first sound interface for about $50. It came with a different microphone. This one was, I think, condenser XLR microphone that connected to the interface via XLR 3.5mm jack cable, specialized. All the condenser mics use phantom power, right? USB ones and especially XLR ones. So if you buy XLR microphone, condenser microphone, make sure that the sound interface that you are buying to plug it in have the phantom power. Most of them do, but just make sure that you buy the right one. And we will dive into the world of sound interfaces a little bit later, maybe in the next video. I will talk about the sound interfaces that I owned, my experience with them, and the sound interface that I currently use, which is actually a pain in the ass, but I got it for a real good price, so spoilers. I hope that video was helpful. If you liked it, please consider dropping a like or just ask anything about my gear. I will be more than glad to answer your questions, and see you next time.